Okay, let's go to page 139 in your grammar book. Page 139. This is a review page, which just means that you've already learned this. So this is something you already know, but we're going to talk about it again. And we're going to talk about adjectives and adverbs because they do two different things. So it says both adjectives and adverbs add detail to a sentence. Adjectives tell more information about the nouns. That's what their job is. And sometimes the pronouns. Adverbs tell more information about the verbs, adjective and other adverbs. So they do two different things. Adjectives go with nouns, adverbs go with verbs. Okay. So here's a little bit more about each one. The adjective describes a noun or a pronoun. It answers these four questions right here. Which one, what kind, how many, and whose. Those are the questions that the adjective asks, the answers, I should say. So it answers these questions. Which one, what kind, how many, and whose. And it usually comes before the word it describes. And it may follow a linking verb. Sometimes it does. The adverb, on the other hand, this one's a little easier to remember because we see the word verb in there, adverb. It modifies a verb. Most of the time, that's what it does. Every once in a while, it will modify an adjective or another adverb, but it answers these five questions: how, when, where, why, and to what extent. They can come anywhere in a sentence, and often they end in ly. That's the one we know, the ly adverb. It's pretty easy to find that one. So we're going to talk about these questions here. It says to answer these questions orally, which means we're just going to talk about it. You don't necessarily have to write anything. It asks, what is the adjective test? We learned that a few weeks ago. The test is the blank pen. Pen as in like this type of a pen. The blank pen. You can use that test to see if a word is an adjective, like any color, the purple pen, the pink pen, or it could be the size, the large pen, the tiny pen. It could be the way it feels, the smooth pen, the fluffy pen, any of those kinds of words in there to describe a pen, you can tell they're adjectives. But if I have a word like um, hat, the hat pen, that doesn't really make sense unless there's a little hat on the end of the pen, which is not likely. But the hat pen, that doesn't really make sense. So I know hat is a noun, it's not an adjective. So that's the little test you can do to a word to see if it works in that test to find out if it's an adjective. And then it says, is ugly, look at that word ugly. Do you think that's an adjective or an adverb? Ugly. So it says, use the adjective test. If we use the test, the ugly pen, does that work? Do you think that works? Yeah? The ugly pen, I mean, there are ugly pens, I guess, but even though it has ly, you might think, uh-oh, that's an adverb, right? Because sometimes adverbs, most of the time, they end in ly, but this is one of those imposters. Remember we talked about imposters? Yeah. So ugly, even though it has an ly, is an adjective telling about a noun. So ugly is telling how something looks, right? What does it look like? It's ugly. Here is the word quickly. Do you think quickly is an adjective or an adverb? And it says use the adjective test. If I say the quickly pen, does that work? Jonah's like, I don't know. Does it? Not really. If I write quickly, that's telling how I write. But the actual pen can't be quickly by itself, right? Can't be quickly by itself. Quickly.
Unless,
Go ahead.
unless, It is like from a fairy tale. Like it just writes
Oh,
quickly.
yeah. If it's like fantasy or sci-fi or something like that, all of a sudden maybe the pen will move quickly by itself. Yeah. It's still moving quickly. It's telling how it's moving. But by itself, like if I just set it there, it's not doing anything quickly right now. It's just laying there waiting for me to pick it up, right? So quickly is actually an adverb, telling about a verb. All right. There's a couple blanks here. I'm going to have you guys help me fill in the blanks on this part. And it says there are multiple right answers. It tells us what to put here. So it says the blank soldier. So I'm going to have Jonah go first. What is a good adjective to describe a soldier? What kind of soldier is this?
Maybe a strong soldier.
Ooh, I like that. Strong. I like that word a lot. The strong soldier blank ate. Okay, Noah, this one's for you. This is going to be an ly adverb telling how he ate something. Somethingly ate. What's a good ly word to talk about like how somebody eats something? It's going to be apples, by the way, just so you know. How is he eating those? Somethingly ate.
Quickly.
Ooh, quickly, a good one. I like it. Quickly. Go ahead and write that in. And then we're back to another adjective here. Jonah, what kind of apples are they? Blank apples. What kind of apples?
Unusual
Ooh,
apples.
unusual. I agree because I think we know what happens after he eats them. And back to you, Noah, an ly adverb telling how he fell asleep. Don't use quickly, do something different than that. Somethingly fell asleep. How did he fall asleep? Somethingly fell asleep.
Drowsily.
Wait, say it again.
Drowsily.
Rousely? Maybe. What's another way to say quickly? Can you think of another way to say that? Quickly fell asleep? Instead of quickly, maybe he sudden.
Suddenly.
There you go. Suddenly, that would work. Suddenly. The strong soldier quickly ate unusual apples and suddenly fell asleep. Man, see how great that sentence sounds with all those extra words in there? Way, 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 way better.
I was
Way
thinking
better.
of ad um immediately sleep.
Yep, you could do that. That's a good one too. Immediately. If you like that word better, you can write that one in there. That's a good one. But notice that this is why we use these words. That sentence sounds like 100% better. It was kind of a boring sentence without those words, but now it's like, wow, that's a great sentence. That's why we use adjectives and adverbs to help the sentence sound better and to give the reader a little bit more of a visual of what's happening. Okay, you can imagine that. Okay, let's go on to the practice page next. How about Jonah read the sentence?
The next day, the second soldier dressed like a gardener and hurried to the king's palace.
Okay, good. So something weird is going on here. Okay, hurried is the vocabulary. You guys know what that means. That when you're in a hurry, you're just rushing around, moving fast, right? Trying to get in the car so you can make it to your doctor's appointment on time or something like that. That happens a lot. Okay, so hurried means to rush or move quickly. There are four articles in here. Go ahead and find the four articles by yourself. There's four of them. Okay, after you find all four of those, I'm gonna have Noah. How about the nouns? Where are the nouns at?
Palace, soldier, and gardener.
Wow, that was fast. You were ready for that. Good job. There are three adjectives. What do you think, Jonah? Look at those nouns first and see what words describe those nouns a little bit more. Oh, we forgot a noun. Day. Make sure you mark day. Did you tell me day, Noah? I didn't hear it. Maybe you said it and I didn't hear it, but I forgot day. Day is actually a noun too.
Yeah, because I was looking at that and then I was like, is day a noun? And I was looking at all the others and I was like, huh? There's three. Wait, because I was looking all over the place.
I did the same thing, Jonah. I was like, wait a second. Okay, now that you know all the nouns, Jonah, what are the adjectives? Look right before those nouns. A lot of them are right before.
Next, what?
Yes, that's an adjective.
And then maybe uh,
Which soldier is it?
dress or second. The
Second.
second.
Second, but guess what? Remember when we talked about numbers? We have to spell these out. Do you know how to spell the word second?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
It's it is SECOND.
Nice. Yes, it is. That was really good. So then we're going to write adjective on top of that. So we got to fix the word first, second, and then you're right. That is an adjective, ADJ. And there's one more describing whose palace it is.
The king's palace.
King's palace. There you go. I know you were starting to say dressed. I could tell you were like, is dressed one? But not dressed, because that has an ED. That's telling us it's a verb. So not
Hmm.
dressed. How about the coordinating conjunction, Noah? That's the fanboys word. Wait, say it again.
And
And there it is. Okay, good. We're going to skip prepositional phrases for a second. And let's talk about the verb. I know I already mentioned one. Jonah, where are the verbs? There's going to be two of them.
dressed
Dressed is one. Very good.
and hurried.
And hurried. Nice. And you can see the ED there. Those are easy to spot. How about the subjects, Noah? Who's doing these things? Who dressed? And
Soldier.
the soldier. There you go. And the soldier also hurried. He did both. He dressed like a gardener and he hurried to the king's palace. So he did both of those things. Now the prepositional phrases. There's two of them, Jonah. Do you see them?
I know. It starts with like. Is it
Yes.
like a gardener?
Yes, very good. Like a gardener is one.
And then next day.
No, because next is an adjective. It's got to be a word that doesn't have a label yet. Remember, these are prepositions.
Oh, to the king's
There you
palace.
go. To the king's palace. That is correct.
Um,
Good. One capital, that's easy. We can find that. The end mark, that's super easy. We could just put a period there. And we already fixed the number. We did it. I like it when it's like, oh, we already did it. Check, check, check. Easy peasy.
mhm.
Okay. Let's put away grammar.
Oh, goodbye, Grandma. Hello, Finder. Oh,
Yep.
oh,
Um,
it's whoa.
so go ahead and get out your binders now. We talked about, you guys have been working on Marco Polo. Go ahead and get out your Marco Polo stuff from the front pocket. And I want you to get out a clean piece of lined paper. You need that because we're going to talk about something in just a minute here before we start on Marco Polo. I have something I need to talk to you about. So get out a clean piece of lined paper. We're going to start with that. Give me a thumbs up if you have some lined paper in front of you.
Get some.
You have one, Noah?
No, I'm gonna go get some later.
Okay, go ahead and get some. Come right back. Okay, Jonah, are you in second grade or third grade?
Third grade.
Third grade. Okay, that's what I thought. Let me change this. And I think Noah, are you in fourth grade? Okay. So what I'm going to talk to you guys about, are you there, Jonah? Okay. Come back and sit down so I can see you. There we go. Um, this will be Jonah's first year doing this, and maybe Noah's already done this before, but it's coming up on that time of year to take a state test. Have you guys heard about that before? The
Oh,
state test?
yeah, my mom was talking about it with my other teacher.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
It's called CASP, and it stands
Oh, yeah.
for California Assessment of Student Performance and Progress. That's what all those letters stand
Oh,
for. Okay. So I want to
yeah.
talk to you a minute about that because it's coming up. It might be in the next couple of weeks or it might be in April, but usually by May, everybody has to take the test. Everybody between third grade and 12th grade. So all students, okay? This is a requirement by the state of California. And I want to talk to you a minute about it because it is a test that the state requires. And I want you to know it does not change anything about your education. So it doesn't define you as a student as far as you're still going to move on to the next grade no matter what, no matter how you do on the test. So both of you will move on to the next grade, and it doesn't affect like your high school years or even your college years. It doesn't affect all of that. It is just for the state to see how you're doing in school. So some of the questions on the test are going to be super duper easy for you. And some of the questions are going to be really, really, really hard. I'm just going to tell you up front, you're going to come across some questions that you're not going to know. But don't worry about that because if you find a question you don't know, you can try to figure out the answer. But if you can't figure out the answer, just pick an answer and move on. I don't want you to do that for every question, but the really, really hard ones, don't get stuck on those for too long, okay? Because it is a long, long test. And I don't want you to be stuck on a question for like an hour and you're just like, I don't know the answer. I don't know. I don't know. Try not to do that.
So, like, do they time you? Is there like a
No,
timer? No.
that's a good question. Okay, so because you guys are Heartland students, I think both of you are. Yeah. You're going to do the test at home, which is nice, on the computer. But you're going to have somebody that's going to watch you take the test on Zoom. So it's not going to be me, it'll be somebody else, but they will assign a time to do the Zoom. It might be like 2 hours or something like that. But if you need more time than that, I know it's a long test. I'm telling you, it's a long test. If you need more time than that, what they'll do is just pause your test and then schedule another day to continue it. So you are not timed on the test. You don't have to hurry. But it just would be really stressful for you if you got stuck on a question for like an hour. You got to keep going. You know what I mean? So if you get stuck and you're really trying and you can't figure it out, it's okay to just pick an answer and move on. Okay. Um, there's two parts to the test. The language arts, which means reading and comprehension, means you're going to read something and then they're going to ask you a question about what you just read, and then you pick an answer. And then there's a writing part of the test, and that's where I come in because I'm going to help you get ready for that part of the test. They're going to want you to write sentences and paragraphs. But here's the thing, it's all on the computer. That means you have to type it. But don't worry if you don't. I know Jonah types, but Noah, I know you're learning how to type too. But if you have to use only your pointer fingers, that's okay. It'll take you a little while, but you'll just keep going, one word at a time. Just type it out the best you can, and that's okay. You can take your time on it. Jonah, you're cracking me up. Okay, so some of the writing questions are going to be short. It'll be like one sentence. And then some of the writing questions might be a whole paragraph. And there might even be a question that wants you to write three paragraphs. But don't worry, you guys know how to do that. Both of you. And Olivia, I know she's going to watch this later. You guys all know how to write three paragraphs, easy peasy cheesy. So when you sit down to take the test, they're going to give you or let you have, I'll say that, they're going to let you have blank paper just like this. But you can't have anything else. You can't have any books. You can't have any posters around you. You can't look on the internet for answers. They won't let you do any of that because that would be considered cheating. And I know you guys aren't going to cheat. They're going to let you have just blank paper like this. Okay. This is called scratch paper. Have you guys heard that term before? Scratch paper? No? Yeah? Okay. Usually you use scratch paper in math when you work out a problem, right? Let's say you're adding like three big numbers together and you have to carry numbers and you have to add them up and you're trying to figure out the answer. This would be like what you would use for scratch paper for math, but I'm going to show you how to use scratch paper for writing because you can use it for writing too. So you're going to have a blank paper like this. And when you sit down to start the writing part of the test, the first thing I want you to do, you don't have to put your name on it because this is just for you. This is just your notes for yourself. Go ahead and write down dress ups right here. Like that, dress ups at the top. These are notes that you're going to write down for yourself that are from your head. So the first thing you're going to do is put down what you can remember about the dress ups. Now, do either one of you remember what kind of words do we underline in our writing? What kind of words do we underline, Jonah? Whoops, you just muted. Okay.
Like something that you describe?
Yeah, like you mean an adjective, you mean? Let me see what your list looks like. Let me double check here. Like a ly adverb. Remember, that's on your checklist. Those are the words I'm looking for. Like ly adverb. Let's put that one down. Ly adverb. What else is on your checklist? You remember? Try not to look at it. See if you can remember from your head. ly adverb. What are all the words that you underline? What else?
So I'm gonna look at my thing. Uh, it's like it's a who which.
There you
It's
go.
a
You got it. Who, which clause. Yep. You can write
oh
that one down.
I just looked at my writing right now for Marco Polo.
Oh, yeah. There you
Yay!
go. And strong verb. You are always looking for those to underline. And then one more is the because clause.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yep. Those are the words you guys are working on in your writing to add to your stories And what I want you to do is just put a little box next to it because what you're going to do is make your own checklist right here, just like that. So try to remember those words, but guess what? If you can only remember ly adverb or who which clause, that's okay. Just put that down. You don't have to have all four of them. Just put down the ones you can remember. And this would be good practice for you to do with your parent, whoever does your homeschooling at home, to practice. Get out a scratch paper and put dress ups and write down as many as you can remember. And that's good because you're making this list for yourself so that when you go to do the writing part, you can put some of these words in there too. And that's going to help you do really well on the writing part of the test. So, like I said earlier, some questions are only going to require like one sentence. Those are going to be pretty easy to do. You don't have to try to put all these dress ups in one sentence. I don't need you to worry about that. But some questions, they might say, write a paragraph. And guess what? You already know how to do that with a keyword outline. So what I want you to do is skip a line and let's make a keyword outline just like this. You guys know this, right? You can even put that word clincher here and that word topic up in the margin. Check it out. Boom. If the question on the test says to write a paragraph, put down a keyword outline. That's what we do in class, and that's what you can do on the test. So while you're writing that, it might be something like this. I'm just guessing, so I don't really know for sure, but it might be something like this. It might say, read the article about polar bears and write one paragraph about their habitat. It
I'm
could be something like that.
I'm going to make like multiple of them because we don't know if they're gonna ask us to make like three, two.
Yeah. So we're just pretending it's one paragraph for that question. But what you would do then, Jonah, you know it's about polar bears and you know it's about their habitat. So that's the topic. You don't have to write this, but just imagine this. You would write polar bears, comma, habitat. If that's the question they want you to write a paragraph about, then you put the topic next to the Roman numeral one, just like we do in class. And then for 1 through 5, you read the article and pick out the most interesting facts about their habitat. Now, remember, habitat is like where they live, maybe what they eat, and what their lives are like, wherever they are. So you're going to read the article and you're going to put down some keywords right here and do it for 5 different facts. Okay. And then after you write down all those keywords, then you start typing your paragraph on the test, keeping in mind these dress ups that you wrote down. So use this scratch paper to help you write on the writing test. You can do that. You can't use this exact one, but you're going to get blank paper and you can make your own notes here when you sit down to take the test. Do you guys have any questions about what I'm talking about right now? Any questions about that? Okay. It could be something about volcanoes. It could be something about Mars. It could be something about Abraham Lincoln. I mean, it could be anything, really. We don't know what they're going to ask you. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, you can put that next to your Roman numeral, whatever they want you to write about. And then you find those keywords here and just make a big list of all of the keywords of the facts that you find interesting in the article. And then you use that to write your paragraph. And then, however many you remember up here, try to fit those words in your paragraph. You guys are going to do great. They give you lots of time. Like I said, like 2 hours. They give you a lot of time. But if you need more than 2 hours, you can still take more than that if you have to. Here's the thing though. I know it's a long test. This is a lot. This is a lot to take in. And I know it's new for you guys because you're at that age. Guess what? You're going to take it in third grade, in fourth grade, in fifth grade, in sixth grade, in seventh grade, eighth grade, ninth grade. By the time you get to like sixth grade, you're going to be like, oh yeah, I know this test. No problem. But I know it's new for you guys this year. So take little breaks during the test. It's okay to do that.
Sometimes I take like maybe one or maybe I don't know because sometimes I take long take writing 3 paragraphs.
I know it'll take you a while. That's okay. That's what I mean. You can take your time on it. It's okay. You don't have to hurry. And when you take a break, this is what I recommend. Do you guys have cats or dogs at home? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is how I would do it. Ask your teacher in the Zoom if you can take a little break. They'll say yes. They'll pause your test. Go pet your cat or your dog. Go get a drink of water and maybe walk around the house for a minute and come back and sit down and then you can keep going. Okay? It's good for your brain to stop for a minute. I always like to pet the dogs because it really like makes me happy because I love my doggies and petting them just like, ah, oh, they're so cute, and they're so soft and you just kind of, they love it, you love it. And then you come back and then you can focus again. Okay. Your mom or your dad or whoever's at home will help you with little breaks like that. They'll say, okay, time to go back. And then you go back and then they'll unpause it for you and then you keep going. Okay. It's okay to take little breaks like that. It's good for your brain. All right. So this is how you're going to set up your scratch paper when you start your writing test. And I know Jonah mentioned if they want you to do 3 paragraphs, obviously you're going to keep going. You're going to do Roman numeral 2 and Roman numeral 3, right?
Sometimes I get stuck on the keyword outlines like
Yeah.
I'm like, oh no, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
You're good at it, Jonah. I've seen you do it enough times. You're good at it. You might wonder for a minute, but that's okay. You'll figure it out. And just put down those keywords that you can remember. The thing to remember too is that just prepare yourself that it's going to take a long time and that's okay. That's okay. You're going to be tired by the time you're done with the test. You're going to be really, really tired. So maybe your parents can take a break from your schooling while you do the test because your brain is going to be pretty tired after you do the test during the day.
I'm gonna watch like 3 or 4 movies after.
Or maybe take a nap or something. I mean, I don't know. It might be nice just to just veg out for a minute after you're done because you'll be so tired. You'll probably be hungry too. Have a snack. So that's the other thing, though, that I want to recommend to you guys before you start the test in the morning. Make sure you have a good breakfast. Okay. Don't go hungry into the test because that's distracting when your stomach's growling and stuff. So try to make sure to leave time to eat a good breakfast like eggs and fruit and toast or whatever you like to have in the morning. Not too much
I'll maybe
sugar.
I'll maybe have like 5 snacks after the test.
Yeah, you'll be hungry
I
after the
watched 4 movies.
test. After the test, that's fine. That's up to you. Okay. So we're done talking about this. I just wanted to prepare you for this. And next week in class, we're going to do a little practice test together, but that's next week. Okay. So now we're done with this. Let's talk about Marco Polo for a second. Does anybody want to read their Marco Polo paragraphs? Did you finish, Jonah? All 3 paragraphs?
Well, I just started like a little bit of paragraph 2, but I finished paragraph 1.
Okay. How about you just read what you have then, and then we'll go on from there. And that's okay,
Uh,
Noah, if you didn't finish yours or if you don't want to read yours, that's okay. It's up to you.
is it okay if I share my screen?
I'm gonna have you just read it. We'll just listen to you.
Okay.
How about that? Yeah.
Marco Polo was born in 1254. No, 1000.
Yeah.
No,
1254, that's right.
1254 to a rich merchant family. His father and uncle traded in Medes, gaining wealth and fame. His mother died when he was young. His his father and uncle went to China when he was 6 and returned when he was 15. Marco Polo's father and uncle went to go meet the Mongol emperor who sent greetings to his pope.
Nice. Was that the end of the paragraph?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, Noah, let's give him a clap in the camera. Woohoo! That's good. I like it. Very good, Noah. I
And
mean,
I
Joel.
made sure to like do my topic linter.
I heard that, and I heard some good dress ups in there. Did you underline those too?
Yeah.
Good. Excellent. Very good, Jonah. Okay, here's what we're going to do next because we're done with Marco Polo, except for Jonah. I know you're still working on yours, so you want to keep yours probably in your front pocket until you're done with it because it should be 3 paragraphs. So keep going on that. And then we're going to get out the next lesson. So, Noah, if you're done with your Marco Polo paper and you already turned it in, you can put it away in your finished binder, wherever you're keeping your finished stuff. And then in your binder, let's get out week 13. I think you guys are going to like this one. We're going to do something really different this time. This one is called Camel in Tint. It's a weird name, but that's the name of it. Camel in
Ow.
Tint. You okay?
Yeah. I
Week,
just slipped on something.
week 13, that's going to be in that front tab that says source text tab. And it should be the next story there. You're going to get out 4 pages. You don't need any lined paper anymore. We're going to use something else today, but go ahead and get out Camel in Tint.
Oh,
And then give me a thumbs up when you got it all out.
what pages are they again?
It starts on page 105,
No, five.
and then it's 109 or 107, 109, and 111.
So I'm gonna go
Week
to one.
13, look for that at the top, Jonah, where it says Camel in Tint, week 13. That's what you're looking for. You see it?
Yeah, I found it. I
Got
just
it?
need
Okay,
to.
good. Good.
Okay.
You got yours,
Um.
Noah?
Get up work.
All 4 pages? Give me a thumbs up, Noah, if you got it. Okay, I see that. Good.
Wait. So we get out 9 and 10 also,
Um,
or
you mean like pages 109 and 110?
yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna get pages 105, 107, 109,
What?
and 111.
Oh, 11.
Yeah, so there's gonna
Oh.
be 4 pages altogether. Once you see week 14, don't get that one out. That stays in there, and then you can close your rings up. Okay,
Oh.
got it?
Yep. All the
Good.
pages.
The first one, the first one we're going to start with is the colored page. It's kind of like a yellowy tan color, this one.
The
Because
bad words.
more banned words. Yes. Woohoo! Normally our banned words page is blue. That's the one that has verbs, but this is a little bit different because these are actually adjectives that we're going to
Wait.
ban next.
Oh, the
Yep.
bad words. Wait.
Banned words.
Go back. Wait. What? I just need to
You know
check this
how we
one.
have, you know how we have eat, ate, no, not eat, ate. We have seesaw and go, went. Those are all banned words. Those are verbs. These are going to be adjectives.
Wait. What? I
So
just need to check this. Wait.
the first banned adjective is going to be good. And the next one is going to be bad. So in the top 2 boxes there where there's a line through it, just write good in one box and bad in the other box. These
Okay.
words now are banned, which means you can't use them anymore. It's not because they're bad words, it's because they're boring words. And we don't want boring words anymore, right? We're going to come up with better words than these.
So what? I need to take off my camera. I mean my background. So we we write good in this one and
Yes,
bad in that one.
yes, just like
Right.
mine. Good in this one, bad in that one. Got it? So under good, we're going to think of other words we could use instead of good. What's another word we could use instead of good? What do you think, Noah? What's another way to say good? Like, um, I had a good time at Disneyland. What's another way to say good? I had a what? What kind of time?
Nice.
Nice. Okay, that would work. What else? Do you have an idea, Jonah?
Amazing.
Amazing. I like it. What's another one, Noah? Instead of good. If you're having a good day, what's another way to say it? We said nice, we had a nice day, amazing day. What's another word? Great. How about fantastic? I like that word. Fantastic. It's fantastic. That's a good start. And we'll add to this later, but let's move over to bad now. What's another way to say bad, Jonah? How else could we say that? If something's bad, or if you feel bad, or if you're having a bad
Um,
day,
let's see. I know one, but I forgot.
maybe like terrible,
Ooh,
terrible. It's another way to say it. Noah, do you have an idea?
Run.
Say it again.
Rotten.
Rotten. Yes, I like it. If you're having a rotten day, sometimes that happens. Rotten or horrible. Okay, I'm going to stop there because I want to make sure to have enough time to prepare for your homework this week. So I'm going to take a picture of this for you, Noah, if you need to write it down later, okay? I'll send it to your mom in a little bit. But we're going to go on now. I want you to go to this page. This is a fun page with the pictures. This is page 107.
that's 11.
Guess what? You guys are going to do something completely different this week. Instead of reading an article and writing about it, you're going to only look at pictures and tell a story about what you see in the pictures. Yes, Jonah, I knew you were going to be excited about this because this is like creative writing, and I know you enjoy it. You're cracking me up right now. So you're only going to use pictures this time. It's fun. So look at these three pictures for a minute, and we're going to talk about a possible story you could write about these pictures. And I want you to notice here, they set up a keyword outline for you right here on this page. So if you notice, this is Roman numeral 1. Roman numeral 1 goes with this picture. This is Roman numeral 2. Roman numeral 2 goes with this picture. This is Roman numeral 3, and that one goes with this picture. And you can see what's about to happen here with this guy in the tent with his camel. Okay. So who can tell me, looking at all three pictures, what do you think is happening in these pictures? What do you think, Jonah? Can you tell us what's going on here?
So the first picture, I like the man. I feel like the man said, "Hey, Camel, wait, aren't you supposed to be sleeping outside?" And then he said, and then the camel just didn't want to sleep outside, so he went in the tent in the second picture, and then there wasn't enough space, so well, the camel kicked the man out in the third picture
That's the way I see it too. Yeah.
because like reading it takes forever, but when I see pictures, that's like my type of story. That's my type of reading.
I knew you would love this. I totally thought of you, Jonah. As soon as I saw this coming up, I was like, oh, Jonah's gonna love this one. That's cool. How about Noah? Do you have anything to add to what he said about the story?
The guy is mad.
At the end, he's a little bit like he's holding his head like maybe maybe the camel bumped him in the head and he's like, ow, hey, that's my tent. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I want to talk to you about when you think about something. Okay, did you know you guys think all the time and it just happens naturally? You're thinking, your brain is always moving, it's always thinking about stuff. But did you know you can actually practice thinking? It's actually a skill that you can actually improve. And the way you do that is to ask yourself questions. So, for instance, you might be sitting there, maybe you didn't have breakfast this morning, maybe your stomach's starting to growl, and you're thinking automatically, what time is this class over? And is there any pizza left in the refrigerator from last night? Or
11.
when is my mom going to let me sit down and have a snack? Or what else can I eat other than the leftover pizza? Maybe she'll let you have an orange or something. So here's what happens when you think. You're asking yourself questions automatically. And this is a really good skill to practice because as you grow older, you're going to notice sometimes people will tell you something that maybe you don't understand or you don't know why they're saying that. And maybe it's not real information. I'm not talking about your parents. You can count on your parents always telling you the truth. They are always going to tell you real information. So always, always, always trust your parents. I'm talking about friends when you get older or people you don't know, like strangers. They might tell you something like this sky is orange. I mean, sometimes it is when the sun sets, but not normally. Normally it's blue, right? But you might go, why is my friend telling me the sky is orange? And where did he get this information? And why is he telling me this, right? Because you might go, I look outside, I see blue. I don't see orange, I see blue. So there might be times in your life when you grow up where you're going to hear something that you're not sure about. I'm not talking about from your parents. Like I said, you can always count on your parents and family. You can count on them. I'm talking about friends or strangers that tell you something you're like, I don't understand what that means. Why is he saying that? So it's good to practice thinking because you don't want to always just believe everything you hear. You do want to believe what your parents say. I'm talking about other people, okay? Maybe on the news or something you see on the internet. You don't always want to believe stuff on the news or on the internet. You have to think about why are they saying this? Where did the information come from? And what does it mean? And why are they telling me this? And is it real? Those types of questions are what helps you think, okay? So we're going to practice thinking as we're writing this story.
I was thinking right now that because I was I'm saying in my head right now, is this gonna be easy? Is this not gonna be easy?
Yeah, okay, good. So you're already practicing those questions. So at the very top of your page here on page 107, I want you to write down some questions for yourself. Over here at the top on the left, I want you to put who, and then we're just going to write these words with a question mark. What, when, I'm going to go kind of fast, but I'll wait for you guys to write them all down. Where, who, what, when, where, why, and how. See if you can squeeze all those question words at the very top. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. I just want to remind you guys as you're writing this, you can trust your parents, especially, okay? You can trust your parents are going to tell you the truth about everything. I'm talking about like the TV or the internet or a cell phone or somewhere where you get other information. It is always good to question what you hear on those devices, okay? Don't always believe everything you read or everything you see or hear
So
unless
you
it's
go
coming from your parents, okay?
so you go like always listen like to family members.
Family, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You can trust your family for sure. And there's some friends that you can trust and people at church that you can trust. I don't mean that you can't trust people. I'm more talking about like things you read on the internet or on the things you hear on the news, stuff like that, okay? Or the newspaper, or if you hear somebody overhear somebody talking at Walmart and things like that. You don't want to always trust those types of things that you hear. So you ask yourself questions so you can decide for yourself if it's true or not, or if it's real. Like, why are they saying that? And where did they get their information? And what does it mean? And when did it happen? And who is it that's saying this? Okay, there's lots of things you can ask your own brain inside your own head. Okay, that's what's cool about our brains is they're pretty crazy awesome because a lot of stuff happens inside. We talk with our mouth, but thinking happens inside. It's quiet. We just have it inside our head, right?
Sometimes at night,
Mhm.
your brain shows images of
Yeah.
scary stuff, or
Yeah.
like a
Like a
dream or
dream.
nightmare.
Yep. Like a dream. Yep. Or your imagination, things like that. Okay.
Yeah.
So back to this. Do you guys see right here, Roman numeral one, it says central fact. That means what is literally in the picture. What do you actually see in the picture? And I see a tent, right? We see a tent and a camel. Go ahead and write these words down. And then I'm going to put a blank here. And I want you to think of a good boy name for this guy. You can pick a boy name, any boy name you want. What name do you think? Could be Bob, George,
Bob.
Bob. I know, I love Bob. We're
I
all
was thinking as
Bob.
Carl.
Jeff, Scott, um, Dave. I mean, there's lots of guy names you could pick. So try to think of a guy name for your guy in the story. Did you pick a name? Is yours Bob, Noah? Bob. I like it. How about you, Jonah? Did you pick a name?
Yeah,
Okay.
Albert.
For the questions, I mean, for numbers 1 through 5, what you're going to do is think, which means you're going to ask yourself these questions about the picture. Oh, before we move on, though, I do want you to draw a line like this because this week we're going to focus just on that first paragraph only. We're going to do these other two later. So as you're looking at this picture, only look at this picture for these keywords here. Okay, only look at this picture. So for instance, the next one could be, why did the camel stick his head? Or let's back up for a minute. How did the camel stick his head through the tent? Anybody have any ideas on how he did that? How did he stick his head through there? Jonah?
Um, because maybe he left the zipper open, and then
Ooh.
maybe he just got in.
Ooh. So for yours on number 1, put left zipper open. Okay. How about you, Noah? How do you think the camel got his head in there?
He flipped over the tent.
He flipped over the tent? So you would write flipped over tent. That's going to be Noah's. Jonah's, yours is going to say left zipper open. Got it? Okay, so Jonah, why did he want to go? Why did he put his head in the tent? Why do you think he's doing that?
Because maybe it's raining and the
Ooh,
water gets on his head,
good
on
one.
his nose.
Good one. That's true. It could be raining outside. In the desert, it looks like they might be in the desert. Every once in a while, they get a big rain, though, and that's bad. It's like really, really wet. So if you like that idea, you could put raining and um maybe something about how he wants to get inside to get dry. Maybe raining and then put inside dry or something like that. How about you, Noah? Why do you think he wants to get inside that tent?
Bored. He's lonely.
He's lonely. I think that's a good one too. You could put um lonely wanting friend or something like that. Lonely wanting friend. And by the way, you can name your camel too. You can name your camel. It could be a boy camel or a girl camel. It's up to you. Pick a name for your camel. It's cute. The camel's kind of smiling. He's like, "Hey, what are you doing? Can I come in?" And the guy's like, well, you're a little big. I don't think you're gonna fit in here." But I love the look on his face. He's or she. It kind of looks like a girl because of the eyelashes, maybe, but it's probably a boy or a girl. You can decide. But
I'm gonna name it. I'm gonna name the boy Albert, like the
okay.
man Albert, and then the camel Jeff. Jeff and Albert.
Yep.
Or no, Carl and Albert.
Carl and Albert. There you go. Perfect.
Carl.
Carl. Carl's getting wet. He wants to come inside. Okay, the next one for number three here. What do you think? See how I'm going through these questions. What is the one I'm going to do next? What do you think that he is thinking right here? He's looking at Carl. He's looking at this camel. What is he thinking right now? Looking at his face. What do you think? You can.
Maybe he's thinking like, did I left the zipper open? Did I? Is my camel? My camel thinking what I'm trying to think?
So put that there for number three. Did leave zipper question mark? Or did leave open or something like that. However you want to put that down. How about for you, Noah? What do you think the guy is thinking? You said the camel's lonely and wanting a friend. What do you think the guy is thinking? Bob.
Get out of my freaking tent.
Get out tent. Oh, let's put quotations around it. So it sounds like Bob doesn't really need a friend right now, but the camel does. But Bob is like, nope, I don't want you in here. Okay. So for number 4 and 5, we can talk about what happens next. Now we are out of time, so you guys can work on 4 and 5 later. But what you're doing is taking some notes here about the plot. You're only going to focus on the first paragraph, okay? So you guys are going to finish 4 and 5 and write the first paragraph. And remember, use these questions up here to help you come up with a plot. Now, Jonah, I know you're super excited. Don't go on to these yet. Just stay on this picture only for one paragraph, okay? And then next week, we're going to talk more about these 2 pictures here. And don't forget to use your checklist. You have a new thing on your checklist now. I'll just show it to you really quick right here. Quality adjective. That's new. That just means a word other than good or bad. So you're going to use some of those quality adjectives that describe the nouns like we do in the grammar book. So try to think of good words, like even the camel, you could describe the camel as being huge or gigantic. Something like that would be a good adjective to use. Or if you're talking about the guy, Bob or Alberto, maybe he's worried, right? That's a good adjective to describe the guy. He's worried that this camel is really going to come in his tent. Okay. So that's it for today. I can take a picture of this if you need me to, Noah, for you. And I will see you guys next week. We have to end here. I know we're right in the middle of talking about the story, but just focus on that first paragraph this week. Okay. It's going to be fun. Have fun writing it. I can't wait to hear how it turns out. Good job, you guys.
Goodbye.
Bye.